Hey, Joe.
Hey, Tammy.
I have a question.
Sure. What's your question?
What do I say to connections who are DMing me on LinkedIn and want to meet in person, and they're not really telling me what it's about, and I don't really have time to meet in person? I don't really know what to say to kindly let them down.
So I always tell people, if you want to meet with me in person, I need to know why we need to meet. That's number one. So if somebody says, hey, Tammy, let's get together. I'd love to pick your brain for a coffee. I can respond and say, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm actually going to be at a networking event next month. If you'd like to come by to the networking event, here's a link. We can meet up there. If you absolutely don't want to meet this person and they keep being persistent, you can always have the option to block them, especially if you don't have a relationship with them and have no idea who they are and they haven't built rapport with you. You know, sometimes somebody sends you a DM and right away they're like, hey, let's meet. Let's meet tomorrow. Are you available tomorrow? Let's get together. I'd like to tell you about life insurance or whatever. That can get really super annoying. If you don't have the energy to kind of deal with that relationship, you literally can just block that relationship and they'll never bother you again. But if you actually know this person and you want to be polite, you say, listen, I have other priorities. I'm really busy for the next 2 or 3 months. Let's talk maybe at the end of the year or next year and see if I can meet with you. In the meantime, let me know what specifically you want to meet about, or maybe we can get on a phone call for 5 minutes to kind of iron out how I can help you or what you're looking for specifically. Oftentimes I get on the phone with somebody for 5 minutes and I realize that they are basically just bored and they have nothing. And then I basically tell them how they can help me. And I've actually created a whole extended LinkedIn article showing people and saying, hey, take 5 or 10 minutes and actually read this LinkedIn article where I break down exactly how you can help me, who you can introduce me to, what I need help with, how I could possibly help you. So if you go to my About Me on LinkedIn, I tell people right before they even want to meet with me, I say, do me a favor and please take the time to read this right over here. And then they'll go here to joeapplebaum.com/LinkedIn summary and actually load an article, breaks down who's Joe Applebaum, how do you learn more about Joe? So we don't waste our time kind of like, let's meet for 15 minutes so I can pick your brain and get to know who you are. No. Read all this stuff. I'm a super busy guy. I'm running Ajax Union. I'm speaking. I'm doing all this type of stuff. This is like everything. Like if you want to get involved in my world, you have to read this article that I spent the time creating. And of course, get part of everything that I'm doing over here. See what my goal is. And if you just still want to meet with me and you want to meet with me about something specific and it's in line with my priorities, then of course I want to meet with you. But most of the time, people just spray and pray those messages and they hope that they'll get a random meeting that will turn into a random thing. And I don't have time for that either. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, I would say also that I shouldn't worry about responding necessarily.
Yeah, I often forget to respond and most people will never follow up. And as a result of people not following up, then they'll forget. But if they are persistently following up, then you have different options of what to do depending on the actual relationship. Here's another thing that I want you to consider is just writing thank you to the person will usually shut them up. Somebody's like, hey, would you like to meet for coffee? Oh, thank you so much. And then leave it at that. So you responded, you were courteous, but it's obvious that you're not interested because you're not pursuing it. So if they can't get that hint and they're like, hang on a second, thank you very much, but don't you want to meet next week or whatever? And you can literally reply, sorry, I'm not available. And that's it. You close the loop, you're not available. They'll probably end up moving on. And again, if they're being creepy and weird and they don't understand the greeting, feeding, and meeting way that we teach people in social selling, they're not going to get the meeting. If somebody greeted you, feeded you, and then wanted to meet you, chances are you would have wanted or showed some interest in actually meeting them. But the problem is that people are trying to sell you, Tammy, and you don't want to be sold. Like most people, right? Nobody wants to be sold. People love to buy, they hate to be sold.
Right. Okay. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.